So there's not a lot of information out there on how to prep for your ANCC, psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner board exam. And I wanted to talk about the things that helped me and I found the most helpful and the most applicable to the test I took, and what I think helped me pass the most. The first thing is the ANAs, they have a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner certification questions here. They're practice questions, and if you haven't done it already, you should come over to the site and be doing these practices. They're broken into different domains, 1 through 5, and the sample practice exam. And this is quite possibly the best resource for studying and understanding what the exam is going to contain in some of the understanding some of the information you'll have to know for the exam. It is kind of pricey, but it's more than worth the cost for uh, this particular study guide, and it's by the people that make the test. Uh, so there's no real reason why you wouldn't want to start studying with this, and you should definitely have this. And take them multiple times, score 90s on these practice exams, because this will really help you pass the exam on your first try there. As far as questions, the next thing that I think is very, very important, and I'll try to get these links in the description here, but I think Pocket Prep really helped a lot. Pocket Prep is also available on your mobile device there, so you can just have it on your phone, answer questions, answer a few questions throughout the day. Um, you will just select the exam that you are going to be taking, and then continue with the Pocket Prep. It gives you some subject insights when you're going through how much you would know. If this is an example they have here, where you would knowing where your strong spots and your weak spots are is very helpful. And as you go through, it's definitely helpful for this. And all of the questions that I used were they had the rationales in there as well. And those rationales you should read every time, especially if you get it wrong, and that will help you improve drastically. Now, the final thing that I would suggest doing, and it's also kind of expensive, but 4 questions as BoardVitals, and obviously they have the one that they think that you should purchase, but there's over 1,600 questions on it. Yeah, there's an app for it as well, and honestly, uh, I think that you could do a majority of the questions if you're really studying a lot and you're not, and you use this um, app solely. If you just get the 1 month subscription, you probably don't need these other subscriptions. They do have a practice exam option as well. Um, Not too bad. And I guess if you wanted the CMEs, you could get them, but they really had a lot of questions. The questions on this were a lot more in depth than I believe the questions on my test were. And a lot of them are a lot more nuanced and wordy and things. But they do. BoardVitals does help you get the gist of what you're supposed to know and understand the underlying rationales behind their questions will help you with the test. And I think those 3 resources for questions would be more than enough questions for anyone to use to pass their exam on the first try. Now, I want to talk about there are a couple exam prep reviews out there. Um, one of the ones that I found very helpful, and both these I use both of these, and they're really not that different, in my opinion, as far as what they teach you, but it's definitely super helpful to know. Um, they're very helpful for prepping you for what kind of questions you'll see on the exam, what kind of information is very important. And, they're a little pricey, but, the first one is Yvonne, and she does her prep really, really helpful, does a great job with it. Now, of course, if you go over to Book Online is where you'll see the prices for everything, and you can see that they are slightly expensive courses. But I think that if you're really worried about your board exams or wanted to ensure that you pass on your first attempt, this is a great way to spend one day to really cram a lot of information in, or a couple days to cram a lot of information that'll be high yield. The other review is Georgette's review, and Georgette's review is very, very, very similar. Um, and Honestly, they cover a lot of the same things, in my opinion. Georgette's review, you need to have the purple book and follow along with the purple book, which you should have anyway, because the purple book is essentially the Bible for the test. Not everything on the test will be included on the purple book, but the purple book is probably one of the most uh, inclusive books that you can use for your studying. And if you look over here, the courses offered, and you can see prices are a little bit less for these, but as you can see, your last minute reviews, um, those prices aren't any less expensive, and the previous one put these classes together. There's more classes in this, and it takes more time. If I were to do anything with both of those, I would suggest doing the last minute reviews. You could do straight through the whole thing. Do I think it's worth it? I think it's definitely worth it when you're talking about how much it costs to take the test, how long you have to wait to retake the test, what's going to happen with employment because of that, and the sheer fact that DA license is approaching $1,000 now. It's really minuscule compared to the potential loss of income you might have, or the other expenses that you're going to have. So those are what I would suggest. I think that would doing all those things would pretty much guarantee anyone that tries at a bare minimum to pretty much pass the test first try. It really, really made it so that when I took my test, I was a lot more confident, and wasn't as stressed seeing the questions. Since after doing all this, I felt like I knew a lot of the answers to the questions with pretty high certainty. And that to me is worth everything, because it's a long test and it's a difficult test, the board exam, and I wouldn't want to have to take it a second time. So I hope that helped anybody out there that's trying to figure out what things to look at, because there's tons of them out there. Yeah, it seems like there's an unlimited supply of question banks and question like tests and things, and all these things that are out there that without any guidance, it's hard to tell what would be good or what wouldn't be good. And I think that after going through quite a bit of information and trying more than one thing, um, honestly, these resources I found by far are the highest yield resources that are available, as far as I saw in all my time prepping. So I hope that helps everybody, and get through the test, get through it the first time, and hopefully not waste as much time trying to find good study material and study material that will be helpful.